Welcome to PVTV. I'm Andy.
And I'm Matt to share these amazing stories.
Just 150 years ago, there were no wolves in Germany after they were hunted to extinction a century ago for killing livestock such as horses and cattle. But know that the gray wolf is popping back up in Europe. The Telegraph is reported that the wolves were not planning to be reintroduced into the wild in Germany, but they returned naturally. They were first spotted 18 years ago, having wandered across the border from Poland. They have since established a population of some 150 in eastern Germany and another 50 are roaming in the western part of the country. This makes many hunters and farmers fear that there will be cause of many accidents and loss of their food supply. They even believe that the wolves will attack them for food.
Today at the White House, Senator Chief Special Warfare Operator Edward C. Byers, Jr. became the 6th Navy SEAL in U.S. history to receive the Medal of Honor. In a ceremony, President Barack Obama praised Byers for his heroic gallery as an assault team member during Operation Enduring Freedom in 2012. The president welcomed members of Byers' family, including wife Madison, daughter Hannah, and mother Peggy. The crowd laughed as Obama re-encountered Peggy's question upon hearing the news of her son's award. Obama called Byers a special breed of warrior, part of a select few who served the American people in the shadows with honor and sacrifice. The American people may not always see them, we may not always hear of their success, but they're in the thick of the fight in the dark of the night, achieving the mission.
Now it's time for some interesting news from John Shilley.
A fossil of a 520 million year old arthropod was found to have a nervous system, after researchers in China unearthed a fossil bed with the remains of an animal that is the ancestor of present-day spiders and insects. The fossils seem to have a rope-like structure running down it. It is believed to be an early nervous system that works the same as our spinal cord. With this discovery, it will help scientists understand the evolution of nervous systems whenever it comes to invertebrates. Get your 3DSs ready because the new Pokemon games have been announced by Nintendo. Pokemon Sun and Moon have both been announced on February 26 by Nintendo Direct, and they said that they would be the new games in the series. Not much is known about these new games other than the concept art and Pokebank compatibility. The day after that this event happened, Pokemon Red and Blue, the first games ever to be released, were made available on the 3DS Virtual Console. It was said that you can also transfer the Pokemon you catch in Red and Blue to Sun and Moon whenever it is released. The new games will be available this holiday season.
These elementary students are learning more than just the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Add a fourth one, respect. They're learning how to give it and receive it. The boys are members of the Gentlemen's Club at Mimiger Elementary in Charleston, South Carolina. Every Monday, they wear suits and ties to school and learn new social skills to help them succeed in life. Raymond Nelson, a student support specialist, teaches them how to shake hands, make eye contact, open doors for others, and properly address their elders. The Gentlemen's Club motto is look good, feel good, do good. Nelson believes learning social skills in grade school will stick with students throughout their lifetime, turning at-risk kids into successful adults. He came up with the idea of winter break, remembering a similar group he belonged to as a kid.
Last week in Virginia, a transgender woman was given a job at a local KFC restaurant and then had her heart broken within an hour as she was fired for being a transgender. The corporate headquarters of KFC soon stepped in and offered her a new job and fired the manager who demonstrated against her. Furthermore, the parent company of KFC, Young Food, is committed to prevent any further of discrimination.
A couple who met on a flight from Los Angeles to Seattle got married on the same flight 6 years later in a special ceremony for the bride's mother. Christy Stratton has been a flight attendant for the Alaska Airlines for 11 years. She met Jim Larson on a layover to Seattle, where the couple now live. Christy's mom, Bertle G. Stratton, was a world traveler and inspired her daughter's career choice. But when Bill Joe was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, she had to give up her globe-trotting ways. She decided she wanted one more trip to see where her daughter Christy worked, lived, and would get married. The flight attendant got the idea of holding the wedding on the flight as her mother came to visit. The airline approved, and the bride and groom walked down the aisle of the booming 737 as the passengers should they mind.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention consider level 5 micrograms of lead per deciliter of blood to be high in children, but no level of lead is considered safe. The CDC says even low level can impact a child's IQ and school performance, and the effects are irreversible. But there's something that can help mitigate the effect of lead exposure. Dr. Mano Hanastachi says diet high in iron, calcium, or vitamin C can limit the absorption of lead in your body. Dr. Mano Hanastachi is a pediatrician in Flint, Michigan. It was her study that found that the percentage of kids with elevated lead levels in Flint doubled after the city switches water source. Now Hanastachi is trying to get the word out to her parents that healthy eating can mitigate the effect of lead exposure. Her employee, Harley Medical Center, has released a cookbook of simple, kid-friendly recipes such as hamburger skillet made with lead beef, cheese, and veggie that can help her protect against lead absorption. At the farmers market in downtown Flint, there are free cooking demonstrations where people can sample and learn how to make the recipes.
We go with Andy to talk about the basketball three-point shot.
Not that long ago, when the accepted wisdom in football was that running game had to be established before passing could be effective. Now that the pass is established from the get-go and that running is the afterthought. Well, I think it is certified that the basketball had experimented the same sort of offense sea change at all levels with men and women. The three-point shot has transformed the game is played. More and more, the players are spread out looking to pop behind the three-point arc. For example, the NBA superstar point guard Stephen Curry had broke the NBA record for most three-point makes in a season, and he still has over 20 games to play. More and more teams are going small with only one big man down deep. Good grief, it was not that long ago when it's considered to win an NBA title, a big man was necessary to build a team around.
These two pen pals have been great friends since they were kids, but now after finally meeting each other for the first time in 38 years, they are closer than ever. Beth Graham and Sandy Fisher first discovered their friendship in 5th grade when they both replied to an old children's television show, Big Blue Marble, to request a pen pal. They had brief phone conversation in the past, but long-distance calls were too expensive for chatting. Over the years, their friendship has evolved to include emailing and Facebook messaging. Then came a day when Cindy was visiting Pennsylvania from Colorado, and the two finally came together face-to-face after almost 4 decades. It was bliss, though triumphal tears. Beth explained how short Cindy is.
Bob Wetzel was an animal lover who had a dog, 6 cats, 7 chickens, and a parrot. Now the Ohio man who has no family has left $3 million fortune to animals who haven't been at all fortunate. When Bob died in December, his legal documents decided that his estate be liquidated and the money go to creating a new animal shelter. His lawyer says the money will go to the Animal Welfare League in Champaign Country and be used to buy a farm that will be used to rehabilitate unwanted pets, provide dog training, and serve as a preserve for animals to roam freely. The Country Welfare League is working with other animal shelters and rescue groups to create the new refuge.
These 5th graders are learning sign language, and reason why speaks volume about their characters. Students at a Perryville, Illinois school give up recess every Wednesday so they can learn sign language just to better communicate with a deaf classmate, Ram Elise. These kids form an America Sign Language Club and practice their skill with rhyme and instructor. Ryan has ear implants but still relies on signing for much of his ability to communicate with others. He's been overwhelmed by the willingness of classmates to give up free time just so they can learn to carry on conversation with him.
The secret to anyone's success can start with a great haircut, even if you're just a dog. Mark Eihoff only started his dog grooming service 4 months ago, but has already donated 50 free trims to homeless pups in New York City. In order to improve the their chances of being adopted. And does it work? Just check out these before and after pics to see how better grooming has very much improved the dog's chances of finding a home. Ihoff owns the Dog Guy Pet Service and says his volunteer work is helping these dogs win back some of their self-respect. Some of the dogs can't come into the animal shelter with fur so matted it makes it difficult for them to move or even interferes with their sense of smell. Ihoff quit his job as a certified public accountant to start his pet service business in November. Because of these makeovers, it had the dogs able to move into a new home. Mark now comes home happy every day and has developed a bond with the animals, which is just amazing.
We now go to bread and talk about coffee, power band, and hamburger.
As a way to reduce waste and energy consumption, Hamburg has banned coffee pods in government buildings and offices like schools and colleges. A study showed that Germans roughly use 3 billion pods per year, but according to Hamburg's Department for the Environment and Energy, they argue that the pods often contain polluting aluminum and unnecessary resource consumption. Green guidelines now prohibit taxpayers' money for being spent on plastic objects and chlorine-based cleaning products. It is possible that Hamburg is going against coffee pods that are not recyclable, like Keurig's cake cups.
That's all the time we have for today. I'm Andy.
And I'm Matt. This has been PTV.
Signing off.